What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 here, and this time it's going to be my 10 favorite albums from 1977. Awesome year, continuing on with this series. I've done every single year in the 80s, the 90s, 75, 76, a lot of the 2000s so far, so trying to get them all done. But 77, great year. Will give some honorable mentions at the end because there's some really good ones I got to leave out of my top 10, but just jumping straight into it here with my number 10, I'm going to go with Bad Reputation by Thin Lizzy. Fantastic band. They were a machine back then. Put out two awesome albums in 1976, Johnny the Fox and Jailbreak. Johnny the Fox, probably my favorite album by them, but Bad Reputation, absolutely fantastic as well. Killer Without a Cause, in my top 10 favorite Thin Lizzy songs of all time. The riff is amazing. The rhythm, the vocal melodies, the drumming is fantastic. Just the band was super tight. All around great musicians. Brian Downey on the drums, love his playing. Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson, fantastic classic guitar duo. And of course, Phil Lynott on vocals and bass. I've said it before, but like when you think of a cool rock frontman, he's got to be somebody that comes to your mind. Just great vocal melodies. His voice is cool. Just overall great band. And some other favorite songs on this album, I'd probably go with Soldier of Fortune, the title track, and Opium Trail. But, Killer Without a Cause, definitely my favorite on it. Number 9, I'm going to go with Rock and Roll Machine by Triumph. I've got one version of the album right here, which is not the correct version. I'm just showing it because I got it. This one came out in 78. It was like the International. But some of the songs are the same on this one. And looking at the lineup, I've got it right here. Rick Emmett is amazing. I've listed him as a top 10 vocalist in hard rock, a top 10 guitar player in hard rock. Just amazing musician. Gil Moore, who has a really good voice himself. Great drummer. And Mike Levine on bass. But so the original did come out in 1977. A lot of good songs on it. Looking at some of this stuff. Takes Time is amazing. Bringing It On Home is great. Looking at some of these others. Texas Shaker, New York City Streets, NYC Streets, Part 2 is fantastic. But a lot of good stuff here. Great hard rock and classic stuff. So that is my number 9. Number 8, I'm going to go with Love Gun, which I've got right here. Amazing classic stuff. This is easily my favorite Kiss album from the 70s. A lot of fantastic stuff on here. The title track and I Stole Your Love. Two of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Paul Stanley singing those is my favorite singer that Kiss has had. Got Love for Sale is fantastic. Plaster Caster, Shock Me, Hooligan. So just a lot of great classic stuff on here that I dig quite a bit. So that is my number 8. So number 7, I'm going to go with Rock City by Riot. Great classic stuff, the debut album from the band. Guy Speranza, amazing voice, one of my favorites of all time. Mark Reale, fantastic player. Could be listed as one of the all-time great hard rock guitar players in my opinion. It's great solos, great riffs, great vocals. The melodies are fantastic. Looking at some of these songs, Desperation, Warrior, the title track, Overdrive. Just really awesome, solid start to their career. So definitely got to be on this list for me. Now, there's a couple albums on this that are kind of like underrated, like sort of hidden gems. I don't know how hidden exactly, but definitely deserve some more attention. And this is one of them. A Diamond is a hard rock by the band Legs Diamond. I've had this album up on my wall for freaking forever. Firepower. That came out in 78. They had 2 albums in 77, which self-titled and A Diamond is a hard rock. Just great classic stuff. This one is my favorite from the year here. I would say it's like a blend, if you haven't heard them, of Deep Purple and like Ted Nugent and Aerosmith. So raw, classic, gritty, hard rock. Some cool keyboard work mixed in there. Looking at these songs, probably go with title track, Waiting, Woman, and I think I got it as my favorites. Evil is really cool too, but definitely go check this out if you like classic Deep Purple, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, that type of thing. But my number 5, I'm going to go with the album, self-titled debut album by the band Quartz. Now, this is another one that is super underrated. A lot of kind of notable stuff with this album. Tony Iommi produced it, so some of this stuff does sound like Black Sabbath. Some of the songs, one of them, the first song on the album, which is called Mainline Riders, has a very similar bass line, very similar rhythm, similar vocal melodies to Heaven and Hell. So I know Tony Iommi, he produced it, so obviously he was listening and then might have had some influence on the song. It was an engineer on the album was Chris Sangrides, or however the heck his name's pronounced. He has worked with a million bands. Judas Priest, he produced Painkiller, so he's a legend for just that. But Anthem, Black Sabbath, ton of bands. Thin Lizzy he's worked with, but really classic, awesome guy. So got that stuff on the album. And Jeff Nichols actually did some guitar on it, and he did keyboards on it, who He played in Black Sabbath, the keyboard player, for like 25 years. So a lot of cool stuff on this album. Mainline Riders, as I said, is a fantastic song. Street Fighting Lady, Around and Around. Some of the standouts, but top to bottom, this is a really good kind of hidden gem of the 70s, I think, so go listen to it. My number 4, I'm going to go with Taken by Force by Scorpions. Amazing stuff. The classic Scorpions stuff is really, really heavy for the times. Amazing musicianship. The guitar playing from Uli John Roth. At the time, he was going by Ulrich Roth. Just fantastic. Some of the best you'll like friggin' find at that point. Some of the fastest, some of the most technical, just amazing guitar playing. He's a Woman, She's a Man is absolutely amazing. Sails of Sharon. Dude, just the guitar playing in that song alone is ridiculous. But He's a Woman, She's a Man is one of my favorite songs by them. Probably top 5. Klaus Meine, his voice is just absolutely fantastic. Rudolf Schenker, one of the best rhythm guitar players of all time. So a lot of great stuff going with this album. My number 3 I've got on vinyl as well. I'm going to get it up right here. Is Sin After Sin, Judas Priest. Absolute classic stuff here. Looking at these songs, Sinner, Diamonds and Rust, which is a Joan Baez cover. You know, the version on Unleashed in the East I do prefer, but that's just one of the best covers of all time. Dissident Aggressor, which, dude, just super heavy for the time. Some amazing Rob Halford high screams. Yeah, just all this stuff is fantastic for the most part. Love the duo, of course, KK Downing, Glenn Tipton, one of the best of all time. Just really like that album cover too. Pretty cool stuff. Just great album. My number 2, I'm going to go with Let There Be Rock by AC/DC. Love AC/DC, good classic. Pretty heavy, great riffs. Of course, the Young Brothers, great duo. Malcolm and Angus. Bon Scott, one of the best frontmen of all time. Some of the songs, looking at this, the title track is one of my favorite songs by them. Whole Lot of Rosie, both in the top 5 best AC/DC songs in my opinion. But Bad Boy Boogie, another fantastic one. Really, all the songs are great. And I guess I will go with my honorable mentions real quick before number 1. Looking at this, we got Motorhead's self-titled debut, which is really good. Lights Out, which I've got down here, which was really close. I was debating on if I wanted to include it. But cool album. Michael Schenker is absolutely fantastic. One of the best of all time. And how about this one here, Draw the Line by Aerosmith. As I said before, the self-titled Legs Diamond album is great too, as well as A Diamond is a Hard Rock, which I like a bit better. Spectres by Blue Oyster Cult, and that's pretty much all I've got for honorable mentions. But anybody who's been watching my channel for a while probably knows what my number 1's going to be, and that is Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Fantastic, absolute classic stuff. Huge Ted Nugent fan. He took the number 1 spot for me in 75 and 76. This album right here, absolutely fantastic. I think Ted was the complete package as a rock star. You know, showmanship. He put on an amazing show. I unfortunately wasn't there, but based on videos I've seen, dude was running around crazy, high energy, jumping off the amps, just putting on a great show. His guitar playing top tier as well. Great riffs, great solos. His tone is amazing. His melodies are fantastic. He could hold his own as a vocalist, so he could do everything. He's longevity. He's been around since the mid-'60s with the Amboy Dukes. Still doing stuff now. He's recording an album, but this album here is fantastic. Triple platinum. A lot of great stuff on here. The title track is instantly recognizable, an all-time rock anthem. Amazing riff. Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, even though it's kind of a jokey type song, you know, got some really good riffs, good song. And Death by Misadventure is easily one of Ted's best of all time. Great riffing again, very heavy. The guitar solo is fantastic. Derek St. Holmes' voice sounds awesome. His whole original band is still together at this point. Forgot to mention that, but Derek is fantastic. Rob Grange on the bass, really good underrated player. And Cliff Davies, who I think is one of the all-time great underrated rock drummers. He played on Ted's stuff from the debut up through Intensities and 10 Cities in 1981. I keep flipping this around because it's freaking, you got that, but then you flip it over, and it's like all the songs are upside down on the back because this opens up, and you got the whole picture of Ted being scratched there, Cat Scratch Fever, you know. But Homebound is a great instrumental. Sweet Sally, good hard rocker, amazing riff again. 1,000 Knives, which Ted did break out for the first time in like 35 or 40 years and played that in 2019, I think. Yeah, I was there in like Simpsonville, South Carolina. I drove up to see. Fantastic show. Fist Fighting Son of a Gun and Out of Control to close out the album are both fantastic as well. But yeah, just absolutely love this album. Ted's 70s stuff is legendary for me. So 3-year reigning champ of the 70s, 75, 76, and 77, Mr. Ted Nugent. And I think you guys know that have been watching the channel for a while. Something else, or there's a couple albums from 78 that might be knocking Ted down a couple spots. We'll see when I get there, though. And, yeah, those were my 10 from 1977, my 10 favorites. Give me your 10 favorites in the comments. And until next time, thank you for watching.